Hey everyone, and welcome to the Balanced Bodies Blueprint. I am your host, Vinny Russo.
And I'm your co-host, Dr. Erin Stansfield.
And we're shifting gears from all the conventional fitness narrative you hear on most fitness podcasts, as our main emphasis lies in preventative healthcare, adopting a holistic approach to nutrition, and challenging the traditional views on various fitness topics.
Our mission with this podcast is to provide you with the information you need to achieve optimal health.
In today's podcast, we have our very own Balanced Bodies client, Lynn Connors, and she's going to go through and explain her journey and what she's doing. She's still currently with us, but she has an amazing story to tell. And honestly, she's a poster child for the perfect client we can ask for with Balanced Bodies. So we want to have her on to just kind of go through her mindset, tell her, what she's doing, how she stays on track all the time. When she falls off, which, during your honeymoon, you were supposed to, and even during the holidays, but how do you get right back on? Because you seem to do that very, very well. So we want to go over that today. But before we jump into that, just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Legion Athletics. Their supplements are backed by research. With every ingredient that they put into their products, they actually support some research with it. So if you want some quality supplements, use the code RUSSO, RUSSO, at the checkouts to be able to get the 20% discount. All right, so let's dive into this, Lynn. Do you want to just give a quick introduction to who you just are, and then we'll dive into your story?
Sure. I'm somebody, I love life. I mean, I feel like I always just want to have fun. I just turned 33 last week and I still feel like I'm 16. So it's like, I just always just want to have fun. I get bored easily. I was always like that apparently, but I'm like, let's always do something. But I also like my downtime. Love my husband, love my family, my friends. And I just take each day as it comes pretty much. And, there's those days of where I just don't feel like doing. I am human, but majority of the time I'm like, we're doing it. Let's just live life.
And
So,
you help mold the youth of today, right? You are.
yes, I am I'm a phys ed, health and driver's ed teacher.
Nice.
So for the high school level. Yeah. There's some days I don't know if I can do this for the rest of my life, but
You got a nice week off though. You got a nice 10 days off. So
yes, I feel like a brand new human, honestly. Like knowing that we have like a little bit of a break, I'm like, this is great. Which I could feel like this all the time, but they're good for the most part. I have a good relationship with my students. So
good. Well, now
yeah.
you know that you're a busy woman who has a career. Tell us a little bit about how you got started with us and where you were before you got started with us in particular.
It's crazy because like I think about this all the time. From where I am now to who I was before I joined Balanced Bodies, there's no comparison. I look back at pictures of what I used to look like. I'm like going to start to get emotional.
okay.
And I just don't ever want to be that person again. I was so unhappy with myself, and here I wasn't even engaged yet. I was, dating my husband, and I couldn't even believe at the time I even still say to him, I'm like, how did you love me like that? And he's just like, it's not what you look like, it's who you are. But I knew in order to give myself to him 100%, I needed to feel my absolute best. Yeah. And Balanced Bodies is the only thing that has helped me get to that point. I can't picture my life without you guys. Like I've said that to you even at the holiday party. I was just like, you're not like, I'm here to stay. You're not getting rid of me.
So yes, but speaking of that, because you just kind of touched on it. So what were you trying in the past that didn't seem to just work for you? Like what were some things that you tried that honestly you didn't just get the results that you really wanted?
Yeah. God, I did Weight Watchers. I tried Isogenics.
Isogenics. Oh no.
Oh, God, starving myself.
Oh,
and then actually it like jacked up my period. And that right there, I was just like, okay, this isn't the way to lose weight. You know what I mean? So like I did Isogenics. I lost weight on it, but it wasn't the right way. And I put all the weight back.
Yeah.
Constantly depriving myself, which was huge. I really think that's what has also helped me where I am right now, because I don't feel deprived. Like you guys are so good of like, you have an event coming up, enjoy the event.
Yeah.
And then like, for some reason, I've just been learning that not that I go all out. I mean, I do enjoy myself, but I hop right back on track. And then like once I start to feel good again and, feel strong and tight. And I know, Vinny, you hear this in my check-ins all the time, but
The
I'm like,
veins are popping out. Yeah.
veins are popping. I just ride on that. And it's just like, you can't, there's just no comparison to what I felt like to where
Yeah.
I am now. So
That's great. And it's cool too, because it's like we do tell our clients to enjoy, the events, weddings, holidays, whatever it is, time with the family. But
yeah,
the way I'm seeing it is like it's practice for you to actually refine some things. Like, because if you come back and you're like, oh man, I feel guilty, I'm shameful, like I'm up so many pounds and like I just feel gross. Well, you know that whatever you did then is probably not what you need to do. So let's figure out what you messed up on in your
right.
head, and then let's change that for the next event. And the more times you have these events, the more practice you get at it. And then you figure out what's best for you. And that's how you make this a lifestyle. So
For
I,
sure.
I could say that you are definitely one person who just hops right back on. And it's like, whoop, a couple days, you're right back to normal. It's like, all right,
That's
yeah, yeah.
it. Ron, my husband, he doesn't understand because like my scale will be up. And like, I'm not gonna lie to you, we just got through a weekend of Christmas. We had Christmas party. So like, is my scale up right now? 100%. I'm human. You know what
Mm,
I mean? Like I enjoyed my time with my family. I had some wine. Of course I had a cookie, like maybe one or two. My scale is up right now. I was at the gym this morning.
awesome.
Like I took my
Wow.
supplements. I'm getting ready to eat once we're done here. Like
Yeah.
I'm and I already feel as the day's been going on, I'm like, God, I feel like I'm already getting back into where I was. It's just crazy. But he's funny because he's just like, I don't understand how like your scale can be up. He goes, in a matter of 2 days, you're right back to where you were. And it's
That's
just,
great though.
Yeah.
yeah. And like, I never knew that my body was capable of that. Like until like Vinny had us like start tracking the scale every day. Not that the scale is everything, but just to see how your body reacts to certain events and food and things like that. So
Yeah.
it's
I'm so,
just,
yeah, I'm so
yeah,
glad
it's
you
great.
just said that, because a lot of people, there's a lot of pushback, especially with our current clients.
Mhm.
Right when they start, like, I don't want to weigh myself every day. I'm like, I know you don't want to, but we're going to build a better relationship because of what you just
Right.
said. Like, you'll see your fluctuations. And once you see it, like, hey, if I'm off track and I bump up a couple pounds, 2 days, I'm back to normal. Some people it's 4 days. Some people it takes a whole week. But once you learn that that's you, then you can anticipate it and you won't get so upset by it. So
Yeah.
you said that was perfect. I'm glad. Look at that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks, coach.
Yeah.
Speaking of, how did you find out about us? Like, how did you come across us?
Vinny, we went over this when we first did our initial phone call.
Yeah.
Vinny came up on my For You page on Instagram and I started following him. And I followed Vinny for a year before I signed with him. And I was, constantly seeing his posts, things like that. And this was something I've always wanted to dive into, like really dial it in. And then my husband proposed. And I was like, you know what? Yes, the wedding is, of course, 100% motivation. But I knew aside from the wedding, this is how I want to live my life. And I didn't know how to get there. I wasn't getting there on my own. I
Mhm.
needed the help. And once I signed up with Vinny literally on the same day.
Yeah.
Um, and just trusting the process. And I remember just eating like tons of food. You remember that? And I
Yeah.
was just like, how is this going to work?
Yeah.
Oh, it freaking worked
Yeah.
because look at my before and afters right
Yeah.
now. And it's
And we
just,
could, yeah, we could put that up too. So we'll put
Yeah.
up an image of before and like
yeah,
where your last photos that you sent,
okay.
because they're
Mhm.
phenomenal. They really are. Like,
Yeah.
your transformation
It's
is
amazing.
fucking insane.
What made you trust Vinny though? That's what I really want to know. Because
Come
that's a hard
on.
thing to do.
Come on.
um, he's confident. Like when he delivers the information, it's like, shit, this guy knows exactly what he's freaking talking about. He knows what he's doing. And I was just like, I'm doing it. And I knew that seeing his, like when you were posting your clients, like before and after, and customized food plans and things like that, I was just like, this is what I need
Mhm.
in order to get to where I want to be. And I trusted you, and I
Yeah.
mean, like, I feel like I constantly always have you in my head. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, you're always with me. So, and I just, I don't know. Here we are. We're
Yeah.
almost. I signed with you what, July 1st of last year.
Yeah.
So
It's cool because like you started off at the end of Team VR and then
yes,
transitioned into
yes,
the balanced bodies, and then you got
yep,
Then you got Dr. Aaron to
Oh,
support
I
you as
know.
well.
Such a great addition. I know.
Yeah.
It's been
And
awesome.
just
And like,
as a side note, your health
uh-huh,
markers improved so much since being together with us. And
I
Yeah.
I
know.
think that's, I mean, not only did your physique and your look and I think you always had that great mindset. So I'm not even going to comment on that, but you always had a
I
great
try to.
attitude. But you know,
Thanks.
your cholesterol markers and all that were improved. So
Yeah.
very proud of you.
Everything.
Sure.
Like I
And
said,
even
you're the poster child. Like we need to just put you on a fucking
I
billboard
love
and
it.
just
I love it. I have to say, even like Dr. Aaron, you and I have gone over my blood work
Yeah.
um, a few times. I feel like
Yeah.
from my endocrinologist blood work, and then I went for blood work with Dr. Aaron, and just like you said, the improvements on that. And my last doctor's visit, I believe I even
you
Voxered
felt
you then
better.
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
the visit. He was so like, he's just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I signed up with a nutritional coach
Yeah.
and he's completely changed my life. He was like so proud of me and just ecstatic on he goes, everything is where it needs to be. Let's just keep it going.
Yeah.
Like I
Don't
to
fix something
hear
that's not broken. Yeah.
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 And I'm not gonna lie, I saw a previous gynecologist that like back in my early 20s, she was just like telling me that your thyroid's not working, you need a hormone replacement, you need all this. And I went and I saw my endocrinologist, and he was just like, Lynn, I really don't think you need hormone replacement. He goes, come back to me in 2 weeks. He goes, I want to do a low carb diet and just see where we're at. And that's what I
Mhm.
did. And within those 2 weeks, I lost 11 pounds. And
Yeah.
I exercised, but I was really like dialed in the low carb, like, because he just wanted to see like where I was at.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't need hormone replacement. And I sure as hell didn't want to go on hormone replacement at 21 years old. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So, and then Dr. Aaron, hearing you talk about, you're telling me how healthy I am. I'm like, well, then I don't
Yes.
want to go on any medication if I don't
Yeah.
have to,
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely. And that's what we love is a lot of times docs do throw medication out there and it's
Yeah,
glad that you consulted somebody else who kind of looked into things and tried to
hmm
change your lifestyle first, right?
for sure.
We can avoid medications and we like to go that route first.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
For
well,
sure.
look, we've been talking about, all the positive stuff here. Now we know that this journey is not all sunshine and rainbows. There's a
No,
lot of downs with a ton of ups, right? It's
absolutely.
just part of the experience. And I honestly feel like you need that. You need those downs to be able to learn lessons, develop a character, develop your discipline from. So why don't you just go into, and you could be brutally honest here. I would love you to be brutally honest.
Okay.
Was there or is there anything that you did struggle with or you currently struggle with in terms of like the program and what we gave you?
Um, okay. Before joining, struggling, I was, you do it for 3 days, you don't see the results, you give up on yourself.
Mhm.
That's definitely something that I've struggled prior to joining your team. Now, the only thing that I feel that I struggle with sometimes is there's a couple things. I get into my head a lot. I remember I literally just did this with you at my check-in about adding food on this
Mhm.
next phase. And
Yeah.
what did I say to Vinny? I go, I'm afraid of gaining weight.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that right there, I feel like I'm ready. Even though you've told me, like Lynn, it's gonna happen, but
Mm.
it's okay. Like
Yeah.
even though you've already told me that, I'm still in my head. Oh God, I don't want to gain weight. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that right there is a struggle for me because there are some days of where I still look at myself in my old body as a heavy person, and then there's some days of where I feel confident as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, and I like, damn, I look good. You know what I mean? And then it's just you ride on that, but then you have your setbacks. So it's just like you said, it's not all sunshines and rainbows. You definitely go, back and forth. And then there's some days, especially when I'm like about to get my period, do I just want to stuff my face with shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm human. So it's like you said, it's the journey. And I know not every week is perfect. But those are definitely some struggles for sure that I've been dealing with and I still deal with. And but I'm learning that it's okay. And that's where I've failed in the past because it's
Yeah.
like you just go back and you give up on yourself and you just eat whatever the heck you want.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It seems almost like you're like the identity is shifting, but you still have that old image of yourself, and you're so afraid of going back there without even realizing that you honestly will never go back there. Like you won't,
No,
because
I know.
like
I can't.
the way you just molded yourself through this experience, it's like this is you now. Like you said,
Yeah.
like you love working out now, and like you love the feeling of it. You love getting the pump. Like you don't hear that shit, especially from females. Like you don't hear that, but you're so into it now. Like you worked out today. How many people do you
Yeah.
think actually got up and worked out
There
today?
was 5 people in our class this morning.
Exactly, right? It's
5.
it's tough, but
Yeah.
it's like it's you now. So that identity that you have, it's going to take some time to get rid of, but you are
Sure.
not that person anymore. And over time, you're going to realize, like, yeah, like I'm not afraid of, like, I could go out and eat, I could go on vacation, and I don't have to worry about ever going back to where I
Right.
was before I started.
But I think those emotions are very human
Oh yeah.
and very relatable. We all have them,
Mhm.
no matter
For
how
sure.
fit you are, and what you look like on the outside. We all have those emotions. And I think it's finding the coping mechanisms, which you realize now you can kind of have some perspective and say, all right, yes, I have this emotion, and how will I deal with this going further? And to be fair, you've been with us for a while. And so that's taken some practice
Mhm.
of some
Yeah, for
switching,
sure.
like, okay, I'm not going there again. And these are the things I'm going to do. And I'm not going to guilt trip myself, because that's an awful feeling as well. So I think that
Yeah.
the coping mechanisms are really important.
You know, it's funny too, because like, you know, what gets me is that people love, since they've seen my progress, right? And I've talked to Vinny about this even in my check-ins. The comments that people like to make, and not directly, but like the jealousy that comes out.
Mhm.
I've noticed of like, for example, people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, Lynn, what are you weighing at now?" I'm like 130 pounds because you look good.
Yeah.
And then like you have the opposite. Here's I'm not really shit. I'm like 30 pounds away from 130, but
Yeah.
that's how tight I'm looking, right? You know what I mean? And I was just like, I'll take it. You want to think I'm 130? Great, you know? But then you have the other side of like, okay, you know what? You're looking a little too skinny. It's enough.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I this is my body. I'm choosing to do what I want to do. Um, you know, if you're not happy with yourself, well, you know, I'm gonna sound like a bitch here, but that's change it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Don't come after me because you're not happy with yourself. So I think that you just need to stay focused. And that's exactly what I've done. And your support system is a 100%. My husband is. If he wasn't as supportive as he is, I don't know if I would even be this successful,
Yeah.
because it's so
Mhm.
important to have those people around you
Yeah.
Very
Love that.
important.
while
Love
doing that.
Yeah.
So,
And we
you
went
know,
through that. We went through that a couple times where you kept mentioning that
I
to me.
know. And it was bothering me, Vin. I
Yeah.
remember telling you in my check-ins, like,
Yeah.
people are coming after me, like, and
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
people see they see
Yeah.
someone to where, like, I don't know who you were previously. Maybe they were in front of you, right? In terms of
Yeah.
like where they wanted to be. You passed them and they can't handle that. And they got to say something to kind of bring you down. But to be honest with you, you're not asking for their opinion, right? You're doing it
No.
for you, not for them. So if someone says, wow, you're looking a little too skinny, you should be like, I didn't ask you.
And
So
Yep.
often it's a reflection of their own insecurities,
yeah,
right? And so I think you take that with a grain of salt, and maybe a little bit of compassion, because we've been there in that
Yeah.
mindset. Um,
It's so funny too, because my
she's so
mom has
nice.
always,
Like, get out of here. I tell them, listen, fuck
I know,
off.
I
Like,
feel bad. I'm here like I'm okay.
yeah.
But, my mom has always, and my mom is a petite woman, like always in good shape. And she's always said to me, she's like, Lenny, I can just see you just this piece of muscle. She's always said it to me
Yeah.
prior to joining your team, Ben.
Yeah.
Right now, here it is. I sign up with you, and now she's seeing me change. And
Yeah.
she now forget it. She's just like, I, she she can't believe where I'm at. Like
Yeah.
it's like
She's
just
all in. Yeah.
yeah.
oh, all the time. She's like, look at
Yeah.
your butt. You know what I mean? Like she's always just like checking me out and this and that, but she hypes me up, and she's just like, I can't get over where you were to where you are now, and just overall, like she's like, look at your legs and this and that, whatever. And it's just this is
It
where I
feels
am.
good to hear that. And you need that
Yeah,
support
it's good. Are you
system.
kidding?
It keeps
100%.
you, it
And I
keeps you
want to
in.
keep it going.
Yeah, that's it. I
And
love
not
it.
only
So
that, but also, our program does resistance training, and so I think that's important to
yeah.
emphasize. Not just,
Well, and
Yeah.
this is like where we're at now, like entering, I'm calling it this next phase, because
Yeah.
pretty much that's what it is. And I just want to like really see where this brings me of
Yeah.
I want to drop a little more weight. Like I really just want to like lean out and tighten up. So tighten up even more, really.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm excited.
speaking of that, what are your favorite parts of our program?
The accountability. If you guys didn't offer the accountability that you do, I don't know again if I would have been this successful where
Mhm.
I'm at right now because you guys are just having the support group and our check-ins weekly and our trackers and things like that. It just makes yourself hold yourself accountable. And then, but I also know that like if you don't get your shit straight, then he's gonna let you know it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So um I just the whole team, the program. I don't know if I have a specific part, honestly. It's just
Yeah.
I just love being a part of this family. It's great.
It
It's
is a
great.
family.
It
I
is.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Because
really
it's
is.
close knit. Like we don't have 1,000 clients at once, right? So
Mhm.
it's very close knit. We all
No.
kind of stick
Hmm.
together, and you have the select few of you that are always like supporting each other. Which
Yes.
honestly, a lot
Right.
of people aren't outspoken, but you are someone who doesn't mind talking. Hence, like you're
No.
doing really good on this podcast. So just shooting the shit, right? But you also help other people by saying, "Hey, keep it going," or your
Yeah.
little motivational posts, and you showing your pictures of like you where you were, and then like you flexing in the mirror that one day like that gets people going. They might not say it, but when they see it, they're like, "Man, she's doing it. I can do it too." So we
Hmm.
really appreciate that as your coaches for you to do that because then you start motivating other people. You add that
For
wood
sure.
to their flame. I love that.
Yeah, like you
Yeah,
start like you vibe off each other of
yeah,
kind of like I respect people that are I hate to say doing what I'm doing because what I'm doing is just living a healthy lifestyle.
mhm,
But I just you vibe off of people like that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like we asked you what was your favorite aspect and you went right to accountability and you're someone who like you need that accountability, right? And that's why it
100%.
resonates with you so much. You can ask someone else and they just might be like, well, it's the structured plan because I don't have to think, right? Like
Right.
they might say that's their favorite part. Or, you know what, I really enjoy that, you give me free meals or you let us enjoy the holidays. So there's different aspects to our program, but it's so cool that like one major thing like resonates with you, which will resonate from Sally, which will resonate that'll be
Right.
different, that will resonate with Joe, right? So we have these different components of the program, but the accountability is something that's really big. And I'll say a lot of people are saying they need it, and I need it too. And I coach you guys, but I would also use a coach if I'm in competition prep. I need it too.
Right.
Like we're all human here, and the accountability is what's so hard with keeping this thing going. But you're going on what, 2 years? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Mhm.
like it's ingrained in you right now. Like, yeah, you have the accountability, but like now it's part of your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So like you might have needed it way more in the beginning, but as we go through, like, yeah, you're gonna like having it there, but you necessarily won't
I'm
need
not right. I'm not like leaning on it the way I was
it.
right in the
Exactly.
beginning.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I still, even though like I've kind of after my wedding and the honeymoon and things like that, I felt like my line has been like pretty much not drastic up and down, but I've kind of like just my scale's gone up, but then it goes back down. Then like I'm feeling tighter than usual. And then there's some weeks of where I'm like not feeling as tight as I used to be and this and that, whatever. And again, we're human, it happens. But you and I working together week by week on like changing up the food because that is a big thing too. But I'm also like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I
Yeah.
will continue to eat chicken and broccoli, however the hell I
Yeah.
want to eat it
Yeah.
for to get me to my goals. But like now that I've switched it up with my fitness routine, because this
Mhm.
is like where I'm really like you kind of find like what's the word I'm looking for? Like you're finding a new motivation. So it's just
Mhm.
like now that I was doing Beachbody for pretty much my whole time within this past year, and now I'm like now it's time for a new fitness routine.
Yep.
So now I'm joining a strength and conditioning gym, a little bit of CrossFit thrown in there, but it's not focused on that. There's some hit thrown in there too, but I only know that this second half or second phase is just going to really put me where I want to be
Yeah.
and
You
I'm
like
just
the
excited
strength.
to
You
do it.
like that.
So
You
Yeah.
like getting in the pump. Like you
And I
like the
love that.
veins coming out. Like,
yeah, you
so
know what
you're
it is,
into it.
Vinny? I
Yeah.
like even like just seeing. I see pictures. We were in Florida in mid-November, and I was in a
Awesome.
bikini, and like you look at my before picture, like you'd be like, oh my God, she can never wear anything like that, right? And here it is, we take a picture, it's like me and my husband, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my cousin, and you could see an ab line in the picture.
Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah.
abs aren't there, but you could see that I have abs, and I'm like,
Yeah.
holy crap, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this was just November, so it
Yeah.
was just seeing your body change and how you're committed to that. It's like it's hard for me to put into words because I can't describe it.
It's an evolution, right? You
Yeah,
started to evolve, and but the same thing
I
with your
just want to get
mindset.
better.
So
Yeah,
how's your mindset changed since like before you started to like where you are now? Because it's completely different.
I don't give up on myself, even though there's days that I feel like I want to, but it's not like still like of where I was prior to joining your team. Riding on how I feel, which I always say in my check-ins too, because
Mhm.
that's a huge, huge thing for me. But my mindset is just like the strength and feeling tight and toned and just overall healthy. Like that's where I just want to keep the mindset of where that's where we just got to keep going
Yeah.
for
How
me.
has your relationship with food changed since before you started with us to now? Because we see all the changes on the outside and it
Mm-hmm.
is drastic and awesome. But how has that changed for you?
So I will say when the time of the month rolls around, sometimes, and it's not every month, and I feel like Vinny, I even say this when it comes to like, have your cravings been this week, this and that,
Hmm.
whatever. It really depends on the week. But there's sometimes of where like, just give me the chocolate or I need something salty. And there's days of where I don't cave in. I just don't because I just keep it going, stay focused. That's that. But I used to overeat. I either would undereat and then overeat. And
Hmm.
now it's just kind of like I'm not deprived. And if I want something sweet, sometimes I'll grab like maybe a couple Lily's chocolate chips
Yeah. Yeah.
just to like take the edge off. I am human, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But it's not like where I would just sit and go to the chips, go to the cookies, go to the chocolate, go to the brownies, this, that, whatever. And it's the environment too. I don't bring the shit in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Key.
that's a big, big thing.
Yeah. And what you're preaching here is consistency, right? Not perfection,
Yeah.
because you'll have your
Hmm.
little treats here and there. If you really feel
Yeah.
like you need it, then have it. It's okay. But it's
100%.
about staying as consistent as possible over time, which is how you
Right.
get results like Lynn. So you want results like Lynn, you got to stay
Yeah.
consistent, plain and simple.
Yeah. For
But it's
sure.
cool too because like you said deprivation, like from before you started, like you would deprive yourself, and then it's like when you first came on, it was like I'm eating so much food, like how the fuck, how am I supposed to lose weight eating this? Right?
I know, but now I know why you did that because I remember there were some mornings of where, and I started in the summertime, and it was like perfect because I like was in a routine. I go for my power walk after I would eat my massive amount of breakfast. I started off with 3 pieces of Ezekiel bread. I will never forget that with like mounds of eggs
Yeah.
and I just I'm like you kickstarted my metabolism, and then like all of a sudden it was just like in a matter of I don't know a couple of months the changes it was like
Yeah.
drastic like
Yeah.
it was just starting to melt off of me and I was
Mhm.
eating massive amounts of food but now I know why you did what you did and
Yeah.
this is why you do what you do and you're good at it.
Yeah. We,
You
we
know
had
what
to
I mean?
fill up your cup of water so we could pull from it, and
Exactly.
your body just happened to respond really well to it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it
some
did.
people, especially your mindset though, like you were like, "Fuck it, I'm in." So like you were
I
in
was
from the
all
get go. Some people it takes a while to get in, and then they trust when they see
no
the
I went
results.
in
You're just like, "Fuck it, I'm in. Come on, just tell me what to
we
do."
went, Vinny, do you remember we went on vacation? I packed all my food.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I went on vacation. I literally just started with you. Went on vacation, packed all my food, brought my scale, everything. 4th of July, I brought
yeah,
my food to a barbecue,
yeah.
and you were just like, "Damn," you
Yeah. I was like,
For
know what I mean?
I didn't expect that, especially it was right away. It was like you started in July and we had the 4th of
Right?
July. So
You
yeah,
were like, "I expect this from my competitors, but
yeah,
okay, here we go."
yeah, yeah,
Like I was just all in, and I don't know. Like there's some days of, like I said, I just can I let's go out and enjoy ourselves, having a date night or things like
hmm,
that. Sure. But the
yep.
next day I get up, I work out, I'm like right on.
You're back on track.
Yeah. Because I don't like feeling the way I did. And
Yeah,
that's literally what keeps me going.
that's intrinsic. Yeah, it's an intrinsic motivation. Like
Yeah.
you don't ever want to go back there. So,
Ever.
but look, so you are this completely different person now. right? So
Hmm.
2023, you're completely different than what you were in 2022.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with 2024? Like you
I
talked,
don't
you
know.
touched a little bit on this phase, right, that we're
Yeah.
getting into. So why don't you explain sort of where your mindset is and what we're planning on doing for 2024?
Okay. So when I think about 2024, especially in these next couple of months, just to see like, with my new fitness routine and joining the gym, and it's not a global gym too. It's like it's different, and I'm super excited about it. It's still with the strength conditioning.
Mhm.
Um, like I said, I feel like I need to put on muscle, and I'm not talking about massive amounts of like I'm not trying to walk around, like, oh, look at me. I just want somebody to look at me and be like, damn, she looks good. She works out. She's
Works out.
healthy.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I would like to. I have you ask my husband, he's gonna be like, babe, you look great. Like
Yeah.
you're done. You know what I mean? Whatever. But he knows that I want to keep going. And there's
Mhm.
certain areas of my body that I still would like to tighten up. And I'm not gonna lie to you, being heavy, I have loose skin. Like it's inevitable. It's
Mhm.
bound to happen. But I'm wanting to take my fitness and my physique into a new after. Remember how we were talking about this,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the new before and the new
Yeah,
after?
that's right.
So I'm ready for it. I just
Yeah.
want to see like where I'm at like by summertime and continue to rock the bikini, but look even better in it and tighter. Um, and here we go.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just getting my feet wet now at the gym. So we'll see. Cause these next couple months are hard. Winter's hard. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But like I want to just keep that motivation and that mindset going for because summer's coming.
Yeah.
So
Just to give people an idea, so Lynn is really going to focus on the resistance training aspect of this now. So it's a perfect time that I felt to actually feed her up. So when you go into a deficit for a while, yeah, you'll have your maintenance breaks, you'll have your refeeds, you'll have your holidays or whatever. But over time, you can't always stay in a deficit. So what we are going to do here is we're going to keep her in where she is right now in terms of leanness, but we're going to work up her metabolic capacity by feeding her while she's adding this new training because this new training is a new stimulus. So that new stimulus is going to ignite some growth. So we want to fuel that right away and then get her to a point to where she's eating a ton of food and then go back into a deficit. So then she's sitting where she is now. And then when we go into a deficit, she gets even, like she says, tighter, right? She'll get even leaner. Plus the newly acquired muscle tissue is just going to make her metabolism, BMR, is going to be a lot higher because she's got more of that muscle mass on her. So I'm
right.
excited. I'm really
Yeah, I
excited.
am too. I'm like ready. I want to lose like the last little bit of weight, and like you said, just let's put that muscle on and
Yep.
see where it can take us. And I always say us because we're a package deal.
Yeah.
Like you know what
Like
I mean?
dodgeball, we're dodgeball,
Yeah,
we're a package.
we
Yeah.
are. I mean, like you know exactly where I want to be. I just you've heard me from the beginning, Vinny. But when you asked me my goals on our initial phone call, and it's just like I think I straight up said to you, I said I just want to feel sexy.
Yeah.
And I've gotten there, you know what I mean? And like now I'm even ready to improve that and like putting jeans on. It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
I never felt good in jeans before.
Mhm.
You're talking to somebody that was in a size 16 and now in a size 8. Like
Love that.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
So
amazing.
I love
yeah.
the continued evolution.
Mm.
It's great.
Yeah. I'm Vinny and I still got to take pictures for you because we're starting that new before.
The new before
So
and the new after. I love
the new before. And I
it.
can't wait to see like, the next 6 months. And I have to remember to keep into my head that it's consistency over
Mm.
perfection. And I need to be patient because yes, the wedding was excellent motivation for me, but now the weddings came and gone. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So like now I need to find it's my own motivation for me. And that's
Yeah.
literally how I've been just thinking really is that it's the way I want to feel, the way I want to look, and I just want to feel good in my skin and overall, obviously just be healthy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Lynn, you like I said, you're like the poster child of like the perfect client.
I love it.
We wanted to have you on here just to kind of give people an idea that like you're a real person, but you have amazing results, and real people can get amazing results with the right mindset, with the consistency that you have, and with its right team behind you. Like you said, your mom supported you, slapping you on your ass, your husband always saying how beautiful you look. So
Yeah.
like you
He's
need
my
these
number one
people around you
supporter.
and having that support, and then you have us, me, myself, and Carrie always got your back,
I
and you know
know. You
that.
guys, you're the best.
Yeah.
Like I said, what did I tell you at the holiday party? I know I said it before, but you're stuck with me. And
Yeah.
you said, you looked at Ron and you were like, she got bit by the bug, man.
Yeah, that's it. She's hooked. She's hooked, man. That's
She's
it.
hooked. So yeah, I'm excited. Let's just keep it going. I think what's important too, I have to say this, Vinny, is that you and I work well together, because you can have a coach that you're not vibing with. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I think that's important. So I feel like here it is. I didn't even know you. I found you on Instagram, and you and I had our initial phone call. You heard me from the beginning. You felt my pain. I
Yeah.
know you did on our phone call. And I 100% was just like, this guy's going to fix my life. And you did.
Yeah.
And here we are.
But
So
like you said, the vibe's good, right? We want to have
yeah,
that good positive vibe always going on. There are some coaches out there that are very, I don't know,
yeah,
like I was always told I look pretty mean sometimes, but it's kind of like, just talk to me, man. Like
yeah.
some people are afraid to tell me that they mess up, and it's like, they'll tell Carrie, but they won't tell me. And then Carrie tells me,
Ah,
and then I reach out, I'm like, listen, it's okay. And then they're like, oh,
yeah.
it's okay. It's like,
Oh, I'm
yeah,
going to
man,
be
I'm not gonna
honest with
fucking bite your head off. Like, we got to work through this shit, you know?
you. Yeah,
But you knew that.
I
You
can
knew
tell
that right
my
from the
weekend.
get-go. Yeah, you opened
Yeah,
right up.
like,
Your trust was there. Like, yeah.
yeah. And that's important. And, I feel like even in my check-ins, I've been pretty honest with you too, of like, you know what, I didn't have a good week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Always.
And,
I didn't have a good week, so let's just keep shit the same until I get my shit together. I'm like, all right, you're right. Let's
right,
do it. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But, I'm ready to, already I'm thinking about Friday's check-in and like what food I want to do. My husband goes to me, he goes, can we bring the wedges back? Because I would do my baked potato in
Oh, okay.
wedges.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's like, can we
We
bring
can
the
bring it
wedges
back.
back?
We can bring it back.
I was thinking, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm down for that. So I'm already thinking about what food to put on. So
Aaron, do you have anything else to say
No,
before we?
well, I was gonna say, any words of advice for
Mm-hmm.
somebody who's struggling, like before you came to our program?
oh yeah, because I was there. I followed Vinny for a year, and I was just intimidated to join his team just because of not him, not because you look mean, just because it was the doubt in myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So all I can say is that if somebody is struggling and where you think like you can't do this, or like I'll never be able to do it, don't ever give up on yourself. That's all I can say, because I haven't given up, and this is why I've been so successful. Been able to keep the weight off this long. By the way, I have to throw that out there. This is as long as I've been keeping weight off.
Mhm.
Um, and just prioritize yourself. And I remember like when I first hopped on, I was just like, I'm making my food, like prepping, preparing. That is huge, by the way, making sure you have everything on hand, because if you don't, then that's when you start reaching for the crap and like overeating this and that. So you got to
Mhm.
make sure that you are prepared. Um, and just my number one thing is just don't give up on yourself. Keep going.
Love
And
that.
just
Yeah.
look at me.
Yeah.
Great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
advice.
of
It really is. But Lynn, thank you so much for taking the time to hop on, the day after
course.
Christmas. Really appreciate
No
that.
problem.
Go eat. I know you're probably hungry right
Yeah,
now. You've been waiting to eat. So, but thank you again. And you are one of the poster child of balanced body. So,
well,
I
I
really
love it.
appreciate you coming on and expressing your story. And hopefully, people who might be a little bit intimidated or might have this identity that they're struggling with, maybe they hear your story and they actually flip a switch. So,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I can't thank you guys enough. And I know I say it all the time, but at the end of my check-ins, when you ask if you have any questions, I'm like, Vinny, how many times do I say it? Thank you.
all the
Like
time, all the time.
I just, there will never be enough words to thank you guys for
Mm.
what you've done for me,
Yeah.
because I've always wanted to be where I'm at in my body, and I'm there. And it's just like, now I just want to make it better. And I can't thank you enough. So
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Lynn,
I love
thank
you
you so
guys.
much
So,
for coming on. We really appreciate it.
of
And
course, no problem.
we need these new befores so we can have
Yes.
after. So
I
Fridays
can't
after.
wait. I know it's crazy. I really can't wait. Let's bring on that definition in the veins.
Love it. I love it. All right, guys. Lynn, thank you again. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
So, on behalf of Balanced Bodies, we just want to say thank you for joining us on this episode of the Balanced Bodies Blueprint.
We are committed to bringing valuable content. And if you enjoyed today's episode, we'd greatly appreciate it if you can take a moment and like it and leave a 5-star review.
On Apple, just go to the show, scroll down to the bottom and rate it there. If you're on Spotify, go to the show's page, click the three dots, and you can rate it there as well.
And if you believe in the power of knowledge, share this episode on your social media to try and get the information out there to as many people as possible.
And as you navigate your own path towards better health, remember that Balanced Bodies is forever in your corner. See you all next week.
The podcast content may include discussions of medical topics and health-related information. However, the information provided should not be considered exhaustive or complete, and it should not be relied upon as a substitute for professional medical advice or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare providers with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment.